Hey, do I have to call myself sister-in-law now? When I went to my fiancé's family home for a family meeting, Amy said this to me. Jude and his parents tried to intervene, but Amy wouldn't stop. Why do I have to get involved just because Jude decides to get married on his own? That was way out of line. Later, Amy was kicked out of the Brown house and both Jude and his parents apologized to me. But my first impression of Amy was terrible. My name is Lily. I am 32 and have been married for 3 years. My husband Jude is the same age as me, and he has a younger sister Amy, who is 5 years younger than us. I heard it from Jude, but Amy is what you call a troublemaker. In middle school and high school, she dyed her hair, wore nail polish, and got called out for breaking school rules countless times. Although she managed to graduate from high school, since then, she's been wandering around without holding down a steady job. Considering she's rarely home at night and seems to have a decent amount of money, Jude thinks she might be working at some kind of hostess club. But she hardly ever comes home, and since that family meeting, I've been told not to worry too much and have barely seen her. However, the other day, when Jude and I visited his parents' house, while having dinner with his parents, the front door suddenly opened, and we heard footsteps barging in. Oh, didn't know Jude was here. I hadn't seen Amy in a while, and she looked even more flashy than before, with an unfamiliar man standing next to her. Our dinner was interrupted, and everything went silent. Who's that? Just as everyone was thinking the same thing, Amy casually announced, "We're getting married." And I stared in disbelief. The man with the flashy dyed hair and his hands still in his pockets gave a slight bow.
Yep, that's the deal. Nice to meet you.
It doesn't feel like they came for a family meeting at all. Hey, serve us some food too, I'm hungry. Amy spoke like a child, and that seemed to snap the Browns back to reality.
Marriage? Did you come for a family meeting today?
Yes, why? Wait, is this supposed to be the family meeting? No way. Absolutely not. Neither of their attitudes makes any sense. As expected, the Browns were furious.
Amy, show some common sense. And you? Who even are you? Announcing marriage without even sharing your name with that attitude is ridiculous.
Exactly. It's outrageous. In our hearts, Jude, Camilla, and I were all silently cheering on the Browns. However, the couple just looked down on us with mocking laughter. Haha, common sense? Who needs that to live? Besides, we're not asking for permission. Just informing. That's all. You guys are annoying. We'll go eat elsewhere. Amy and Anthony left as quickly as a storm. The rest of us were left baffled. We just couldn't find the right words to describe our feelings. All the in-laws could mutter was, "This is disgraceful." 3 months later, out of the blue, I received a message from Amy. Lily, I have a favor to ask. I had a sinking feeling about this. As I humored her with a response, Amy started to talk freely. Would you come to the wedding with Jude? She really intends to get married. Dad and Mom said they won't attend because they haven't been properly introduced yet. But it would be weird if no one from my side came, right? I can totally understand her parents' feelings. Jude hardly picks up my calls, so I can't discuss it with him. You're the only one I have, Lily. True. Jude has been busy with work lately and probably doesn't have time to answer calls. I don't want to go, but as a woman, I understand the dream of a wedding, and it does seem sad if no family is present. I reluctantly replied, only if Jude says he'll come. I hung up after saying that. When Jude came home and I told him about it, he said,
I noticed the call, but I've been too busy to answer. So Amy was really serious about getting married?
He echoed my sentiments. Later, when Jude tried contacting the Browns, they were still upset about Amy's attitude. They said,
She can marry as she pleases, but we won't attend the wedding.
Amy has apparently already moved out and is living with her boyfriend. After discussing with Jude, we figured that if Amy had moved out of her parents' house, once the wedding was over, we probably wouldn't see her for a while and avoid any drama. So thinking it would be our last involvement, we decided to attend the wedding, since her parents were attending and certainly wouldn't be funding the wedding. After discussing with Jude, we decided to give a generous wedding gift as a gesture of goodwill. It was the least we could do. However, despite waiting, we never received a formal wedding invitation and had to call Amy to get the date and venue details. A month later, when Jude and I arrived at the venue, we were surprised to see Amy in her usual casual attire. Congratulations! Despite my usual feelings about her, I decided to keep them in check and celebrate the occasion, so I delivered those words with a smile. I'll go change now. The ceremony will be held over there. Oh, it's almost time. Hurry up. With that, Amy left. We headed in the direction she indicated and found ourselves not in a chapel or a wedding reception hall, but an ordinary hall. Huh? What is this place? I expressed my confusion to Jude, who was also looking puzzled. This isn't a wedding. What's going on? And then the sight before us left me stunned. These people are the guests, right? I whispered to Jude, who reluctantly nodded in agreement. This looks like a club or a hostess club. The supposed guests had flashy and light hair colors, which seemed to be the norm. They looked frivolous, were prominently flaunting branded items, and their vulgar laughter echoed throughout. Well, considering who the couple is, perhaps this is to be expected. Trying to hold back my emotions and attempting to find some calm with Jude, I noticed something. Hey, where are the chairs? Jude, who was as stunned as I was, seemed to realize it too.
What? This is just a reception? Isn't it supposed to be a wedding?
As we stood there confused, a frivolous-looking man, presumably the MC, picked up a microphone and began to speak. Now let's welcome the bride and groom. The two entered from the open doors. I had assumed she'd be in a wedding dress, but while it was technically white, it was a cheap-looking sexy dress with a high slit. On her head, she wore a tacky tiara. The young crowd cheered them on with enthusiasm. Well, they were so flashy, I couldn't even tell if they were young anymore. Actually, who cares about that? I just want to leave this place. That's all I could think about. They played some cheesy How We Met video, but the only lingering question was, is it really okay to say they met at a hostess club? Jude, sitting next to me, seemed to share the same sentiment. Though it felt like an agonizingly long time, in reality, only 30 minutes had passed. I didn't feel like I could endure this to the end. As I contemplated making a quick exit, suddenly Amy approached us. Hey, where's our wedding gift? I've never seen a bride come to collect her gift in person. That said, we did prepare a wedding gift, thinking it would be a proper ceremony. We planned to give it when entering the venue, but no one was at the reception desk, so we missed the opportunity. I thought we could give it later, but I never expected her to ask for it directly. With a forced smile, Jude handed over the wedding gift. Meanwhile, the groom was downing drinks amid his friends' cheers. Among them, a man with flashy hair, but obviously much older, and a woman, heavily made up beyond her age. Must be the groom's parents. I guess it's a case of like father, like son. After Amy took the gift from Jude, she surprisingly turned to me, extending her hand. Lily, I want your wedding gift too. What? The wedding gift! Give it to me now! Jude, raising his voice a bit to interject, said,
Lily and I are a couple, so the gift covers both of us.
But then, looking visibly unsatisfied, Amy audibly clicked her tongue and unbelievably started to open the wedding gift right there. Wait, hold on! I tried to stop her in a hurry, but she completely ignored me. And after seeing the contents of the gift, Amy laughed mockingly and blurted out something outrageous. What's this? Only $3,000?
Hey, Amy, hold on!
Jude hurriedly tried to intervene, but Amy was unstoppable. I might be able to earn $3,000 in just one night, she said while laughing. Why should we be talked down to like that? Especially when we gave a gift that was more than the usual rate. At that moment, all my restrained feelings exploded.
Listen, Amy, don't you have any gratitude? Do you realize we gave you more than the usual amount? We gave that amount thinking it might help since Brown and Camilla said they wouldn't attend.
Then, laughing, Amy responded,
Huh? Acting all high and mighty over a mere $3,000? What do you mean by help? It doesn't matter to me if my parents come or not. You're just someone who married Jude, right? Can you stop pretending to be family?
The audacity of her words made me laugh past my anger.
Right, I'm just someone who married Jude, not really family or anything. Well, this will be the last time, so please forgive me.
With that, I snatched the wedding gift from Amy and pulled out half of it, which was $1,500, and stashed it in my purse. I put the remaining $1,500 back into the wedding gift and shoved it into Amy's hands.
Hey, what are you doing? Give it back!
Seeing Amy's attitude and having no sentiment left for her, I spoke. Amy and I are strangers. I don't give wedding gifts to strangers. So I took back my share. Even though I married Jude, you and I will remain strangers for life. As we were about to leave, Jude grabbed the wedding gift from Amy.
My family is Lily, Amy. You're nothing to me. Don't ever come near us, Dad or Mom again.
He took my hand and we left the venue. Although Amy seemed to be causing a commotion, the noise in the hall was too loud to make out her words. What in the world was happening? Maybe the so-called wedding was just a ruse to get wedding gifts. When Jude and I went to report the situation to his parents, their expressions were a mix of emotions.
Both of you, I'm truly sorry. Thank you.
Brown apologized to us.
She's our youngest and our only girl. I admit I might have spoiled her a bit too much growing up. I scolded her so much, but nothing ever got through to her. And then she just left her home.
Camilla, while apologizing, looked deeply regretful.
But she probably won't come back here, and I've told her to keep her distance. So Dad, Mom, you can finally let go and find some peace.
Hearing Jude's words, his parents nodded with a complex expression. I thought that was the end of the Amy chapter, but it wasn't meant to be. A few days later, Amy showed up at our door.
Hey, how can you just leave without paying your share? I even took the trouble to come all the way here, so you should pay double and give back the wedding gift too.
Jude and I exchanged a look and sighed. Normally, if you give a wedding gift, you don't have to pay an attendance fee.
On the other hand, if there's an attendance fee, no wedding gift is expected. That's common sense, but according to you, the wedding gift is like a tip and the attendance fee covers the venue and meal costs, so pay both.
We're not giving any more wedding gifts. Frankly, we don't feel like celebrating anymore.
Hearing Jude's words, Amy puffed up her cheeks in anger.
Why? I'm your sister and I got married. How can you not give a wedding gift? That's just terrible.
Her words flitting between us made me furious.
Sister? I am your sister? After telling us not to pretend to be family, you come back later demanding a wedding gift? What are you thinking? We heard it was a wedding, so we attended out of kindness. But what was the reception? There wasn't even proper food. How much were you hoping to charge for that? The wedding gift is mine. Give it to me. And the party costs money too, so $200 per person. Pay up now. $200? For that tiny party? That's basically a scam. What are you talking about? There was plenty of alcohol, right? Plus the dress and flowers cost money.
Hearing that, I couldn't help but laugh.
So mostly for alcohol, huh? The food was minimal and everything looked so cheap. By flowers? You mean the decoration at the venue? Or just the ones at the table where you sat? Because there weren't flowers on every table. Plus, there weren't nearly enough tables. If that's what you call spending money, then it's really a scam.
I poured out all the frustrations I felt that day.
And about the dress? It looked like something cheap you'd pick up anywhere. Even the guests had better dresses.
Amy probably hit right on the mark, said less, and glared at me.
Normally, weddings and receptions aren't for making money. It's about gratitude and hospitality, right? It's clear as day you two tried to cut costs, charge a high attendance fee, and pocket the difference. We also spent money and time preparing, not to mention the transportation cost. Honestly, I feel like you owe us.
Jude, not finding an opportunity to speak, just nodded in agreement beside me. Amy kept glaring at me the whole time. I had one last thing to say.
I don't have a single dime to give to someone who's not even family like you, Amy. You said you could make $3,000 in one night, right? Then why not just hold a free wedding? With a wedding as cheap as that? You should be thanking each guest, maybe even handing out $1,000 each for showing up. Just stay out of our lives,
I said with a laugh. Amy, either too stunned to respond or simply furious, glared at me and stormed off. Turns out, Amy and her husband had racked up significant debts from buying luxury brands and cars, and it seems they were trying to cover some of it with the wedding gifts and attendance fees. They even went to Jude's parents' house to demand for gifts and were rightly scolded. Jude's parents were livid. They told us if Amy ever showed up again causing trouble, we could call the police. Thankfully, we've had no contact from Amy since then, which has been a relief. In a way, it was a one-of-a-kind wedding experience, but we never spoke to that couple, who were basically strangers, ever again. Now, we're enjoying a quiet and peaceful life.